Okay, can we go on the record?
All right, you wanna?
Do the first thing, I'm gonna do the introduction. My name is Leslie Harris. I'm Chair of the Boston Police Internal Affairs Oversight Panel. I welcome the public. Thank you for being here. I want to remind you that we cannot answer questions, that you can go on the OPET website, and any questions you have, you can post them there, and we will respond to them if we can. I'd like to introduce Ms. Christine Miller and Ms. Ellison Cartwright, who are both panel members for the Internal Affairs Oversight Panel. Okay, we need to review the minutes from October 20th. Give you a moment to look them over if you haven't had a chance.
I move that the minutes be accepted, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes have been accepted. I'd like to introduce our Executive Director, Ms. Stephanie Everett, and we will receive her report at this time.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Does anyone need an interpreter? Okay, yes, ma'am.
Great. So I also want to mention that we are recording the meeting for those who, we post our meetings online, and we are still working out the hybrid situation. But in the interim, what we have been doing is recording all of our meetings, posting them online so that they can be viewed by the public later. We do have ASL with us so that the meetings are accessible for those who need it. So first things that I do want to mention is that we do have a 2023 calendar that we share with our board members, and I've included the board calendar for you, and I believe that we have posted them on our website as well as the clerk's calendar so that you have them. Previously, I think we've given you your own board calendar, but we've also included the board calendar for the Civilian Review Board, so if you do want to pop in, you can see that calendar as well. The OPAC Commission, which you know is chaired by our lovely judge, myself, and it's comprised of the chair of OPAC, of IAOP, as well as CRB and myself. We voted on the calendar in December. We have spread out the meetings a little bit more than what we did last year. What we found is that our staff needs a little bit more time to pull cases together, and we also want to allow more time to have any feedback with the community and give you more feedback time. And if we need to throw in a meeting or two, we could do that. We didn't really have time for extra meetings the way that we were having meetings last time. We talked about this last year when we started, that if there was a need for an extra meeting, we could do that, but having a board meeting for every board or commission every month didn't really allow to throw in an extra meeting. Spreading out a little bit allowed for us to do some of that. So we do have that available. Also, January starts the conversations of the budget, and where we've been fortunate over the last 2 years to have all of our investments picked up by the mayor's office and city council last year. Well, the current year we're in FY23. FY23. We had more input from the city council, and our investments were picked up. We will continue our efforts on really focusing our budget investment on things that really matter to our community, and looking at police misconduct in a broader view. I know that when this office was created, even around the conversations in 2020, there's been a narrow view of police misconduct. And doing this work for a few years now, we know that police misconduct is more than just an individual harm. There is a family loss and a huge impact to our community. And the way that we can address many of these things is through the budget process. We've done that in how we hire, how we create programming around youth, how we create opportunities for education and for voices of our community to be heard, and we will continue to do that in FY24's budget. You can read a little bit more about that. I don't want to read it verbatim from the executive director's report, but we will look at that and really center that work and use it as a guiding post as we go forward into the FY24 budget. And if you have any comments or recommendations, we do welcome that as we start having those conversations with both the administration that lead into conversations with the city in the spring. So we are very excited about the possibilities that could come out and what happens next. And speaking of that, the ordinance does require me to meet with the city council twice a year. I had my first conversations almost a year ago in March, April last year. And so I started conversations the second half in November, just to give an update, November and December, where we were at with our budget investments, where we are at with your meetings and the rest of the board's meetings. The conversations were really well. They centered a lot on our dashboards, where our data was coming in from, what the trends were looking like, and also around the hiring of the community mediator. I think every city council is very excited about the community mediator. So no matter where you land at or how you feel about this office or the work of this office, everyone felt that the community mediator was a good place to start to build the trust that our community needs. And so we're still actively hiring. We have narrowed it down to some good candidates that we are hopeful that we will have someone start in the spring. And we also, and everyone wants youth. Like, that is the focus, I think, and it always will be the focus on youth. And we will continue to focus on bringing our youth into the conversation and keeping them moving. As you all know, we have and have been looking for a consultant to lead the efforts on the hiring, retention, and promotion of BIPOC officers and women within BPD, not just with officers, but the whole entire organization. We did retain the services of Conan Harris and Associates and Strategic Matters Strategies. They combined and submitted one proposal. So they had their first meeting in November. They're meeting with different departments within the city, as well as affinity groups within BPD. And this is different from different opportunities that have presented itself before, where there's been an audit of what's going on. We already know what's going on. This is really coming up with the steps to increase the hiring and look at ways that we are going to re-examine how promotions are done and retention is increased within BPD. So really, like, the steps needed to achieve these goals. And that's being led by our policy analyst, Mariah. And so we will be providing those updates as they come due. And we've had some great conversations so far. So I'm looking forward to what we see change in a relatively short period of time. And I'm excited to say we're going to start having listening sessions. So one of the things that we do on the OPAC Commission is, while in this meeting and our Civilian Review Board meetings, there is no input from the community. We do provide an opportunity for community to have say at our OPAC Commission community meetings. But we find that there is still kind of a disconnect with what we do and why we do it, and where there's a lot of intersections with other departments. We do a lot of work with the equity department. They're helping out on the BIPOC consultant, working with YEE. We got our youth from them this summer. And we do talk to Boston Police Department a lot. And so we thought it was important that, as I said 1,001 times, that the marches are no longer on our streets, but our feet are still moving, and we still need to hear from the community, that we have these listening sessions to not only bring out the data that we have collected, but hear from the community on what they think we should be doing, especially as we move into what we're doing about the budget. hear from the community what they want to see that we're doing, what they feel we should be doing more of or less of. So we will have these listening sessions. I will kick off a little bit of it by going for the first time on a media program on January 25th with Java with Jimmy. And he's a good friend, so I will talk to him about the listening sessions and the work that we've done. I've been here, it'll be 2 years this spring, and just talk about building up this office, and everything we've done and everything we look forward to and ways that we hope we can still engage the community. Then we will have a listening session that will be virtual on February 8th from 1 to 3 p.m. And that's a way, again, of just bringing everyone in who cannot physically be there. The second one will be at the Roach Branch in West Roxbury, a BCYF Center. And that will be an evening session on February 16th from 5:45 to 7:45. But that is the first in-person one, and the second and last one will be here in our office, another afternoon one from 1 to 3 p.m. And I encourage you all to attend if you can, the virtual one or in person if you can, and share the information with all your networks. We will post flyers and stuff on our website and share it with the board members. And again, looking forward to those conversations with our community. And then lastly, my pride and joy of the Youth Advisory Council, we had our first meeting. We did send it out. I originally had an end date of November 28th of closing out the application. But we had like an uptick of applications around that time, and I didn't feel like we could close it. And so it's still just open at this point. So we're still accepting applications. We have applications right now from, I believe, 6 Boston neighborhoods, which is really good. There's 12 youth. We actually have some from 2 different neighborhoods, Milton and Brookline. Youth have also applied. And we had a meeting on December 28th. It's for the kids that were around during the holiday season. It was an informal meeting, nothing. The judge did come in. It's just a time for us to just hear from them, to hear from us about what our hopes are for them as they start to do this work, and really let them know that their voice will be heard, and it's not just a time to just sit around and think like we just want to say we have you here, and but it's really going to be impactful on the work that we do, from budget to policy, to meeting with the commissioners. There's a lot of buy-in from the top of the administration down to how much we care about their feelings about this work and what we can do to make it a comfortable place for them to be in, where they want to live now and even as they get older. So if you have any youth ages 14 to 19 that you can think of that want to be a part of YAC, please send them our way. That's all I have. Does anybody have any questions or anything that you want me to add to any of these things? Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other business that we need to address?
Need to accept the report.
Yes,
Oh,
we need to.
I move that we accept the
The executive
executive director's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So it's accepted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember those little things, get everything checked off. And does anyone have any other business that needs to be presented? Okay, then I will have a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we're going to go into executive session, which is closed. Are there any police officers here or witnesses from a case, or complainant from a case? Now, how do we do this? We can address that case first. And
There's a police officer. The police officer has a right to ask that their case not be heard in executive session. It can be heard in public,
Right.
but only the police officer can ask for that.
Right, so that's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
Are you a police officer, ma'am? Complainant. Okay. So we have to go into executive session, which is closed to the public. And afterwards, we will update.
Yeah, but you have to close out the public session.
Yes. So as a part of going into executive session, I now close the public hearing. We will take a 2-minute break. 2 minutes. So